Okay, so we'll follow along here. So I already have the shapes project open here, and we've already compiled it, as you can see. The funky diagonal lines on these pink rectangles are gone. These pink rectangles represent classes. We have the canvas class, the circle class, the square class, and the triangle class. So let's see. Let's click on the circle class, right click and choose new circle. Okay, we've done that. And it says click OK. So I just named circle 1. So I've created a new circle object. And this red square down here on the bench is my new object. So I've instantiated it, and it's run out here on the object bench. So now we're going to right click on the circle object and choose inspect. We do that, this pops up with all of the attributes or instance fields. We have a private int diameter, private, and you notice they're all private. I've got 3 ints, a string, and a boolean. So now we're going to answer the questions about this. So here we go. What is the value of is visible? Well, is visible, as you can see, is false. So we will write false. So now I'm going to right click on my object and choose void make visible, which is the 4th method down. When I do that, it makes the circle visible, so I don't have to write anything for that. What is the circle's XY position? So once again, if I inspect it, the X position is 20 and the Y position is 60. So this would be 20, 60. Now we're going to choose to move the circle down. So here is my circle, and I'm going to choose to move it down using the move down method right here. And I moved it down, so I don't have to do anything. And now the circle's new XY position, I can inspect it again, and I see that it is now at 1280. So the Y coordinate, has increased by 20, and the circle has gone down. So this is now 2080. Okay. So what do I expect will happen if I invoke the move down method again? Well, I think the circle will move down another 20 units, because it went from 2060 to 2080 to 2100. So that the new coordinates are 2100. Now we'll use the move right method. So we'll come back here, and here is the circle, and I will choose move right. And now I've done that, and now I can see that the X position is now 40. So this is now 4080. 4080. What do you expect will happen if you invoke the move right method again? The circle will move right another 20 units, so that the new coordinates are 6080. And if you want to test that out, we can. We'll come here and we'll move right again. When we move right again, we see that the new coordinates are in fact 6080. But we don't want them to be 6080, so I will move it left, back to where it was. So now it is at 4080 again, okay? And that takes care of my circle 1 object. So now we're going to create a new circle 2 object. And to do that, close this. We come here, we go to right click, we click new circle. There's circle 2. It's now on the object bench. So now we'll inspect this. And right now I cannot see the circle object. And if you notice, right on here, I created this new circle object, but it hasn't appeared here. And I can't see it because the is visible is false. Because the... I like to change my font when I'm talking about this like that. Oh, is visible. I can change it. The is visible attribute or instance field or whatever has a value of false. So now make circle 2 visible. So to make circle 2 visible, I can now watch this. Right click, and when I choose make visible, poof, it appears. Changes color to red by typing red into the text box after invoking the change color method. Okay, so we'll go to change color, and we type in red, and we click OK, and it gives us an error. Cannot find symbol variable red. So we get an error. And why do you think this happens? Well, this goes back to intro programming from last year. And also, you might have noticed something else when we were inspecting these objects. If I inspect this object and I look at the color, it is a string, and you notice that the word is in quotation marks. So this happens because the property is a string data type, and strings must be given inside of quotation marks. So now if we type red, change color, and we type red in quotation marks, watch what happens to my second circle. Boom, it changes color to red. So now let's try typing in other colors and seeing what happens. So let's see. We'll try all of them in the Roy G. Biv spectrum. So orange doesn't work, it turns it black. Yellow makes it yellow. Green makes it green. Blue we already know works. Indigo doesn't work. Violet doesn't work. Any other colors that you can think of? Gray doesn't work. Purple maybe will work if violet didn't. No, purple doesn't work. And notice right now I made it purple. The string is still purple even though the circle itself is black. What about white? Does that work? Oh, white works. I have a white circle. And I wonder if I type in black, yep, black also works. So so why did the initial error occur when it happened? Well, right here, because again, strings require their values to be put in quotation marks. Without quotation marks, the value is not a string, so the compiler won't recognize it. So it's not because there were no quotation marks, it's because it's a string and the string requires the extra quotation marks. So it's more than just there are no quotation marks, it's because it's a string and it requires quotation marks. So we tried typing out the colors. What words change it? So let's see, I believe it was red, obviously all in quotes. So red, orange did not work, yellow did, green did, blue did, black did, and white did. What happens when you specify a color that is not known? Well, we saw what happens. The circle color changes to black. All right, let's change the circle size to 10. So here we go. Right click and change size to 10 and made it smaller. And we invoked the change size method. Notice that even though the method has a parameter in it, this is just its name. When I talk about a method, I refer to it just by its name. I don't need all the extra stuff. I don't need the public. I don't need the data type. The change size method is the change size method. If there was more than one, then I might want to talk about the change size method with a specific parameter or with a specific return type. But since I only have one change size method, that's just the change size method. Okay, invoke the move vertical method and enter 10. Right? So let's see, move vertical 10, and let's watch it. What happened to its Y position? Well, the circle moved down 10 units. So the question is, how can I get the circle to go up? Well, if I want it to go up, this was move vertical. So if I want it to go up, I can't type in a positive number. Positive numbers make it go down. If I type in a negative number, like negative 20, it goes up. So how can we get the circle to move up? Type in a negative number. Move the circle so it is at the upper left-hand corner of the canvas, but it can still be seen in its entirety. What do you think the coordinates of the upper left-hand corner are? So if we went through this, I would just keep on moving it up. So let's see. Move up, move up, move up. Nope, that was too far. Move down. Okay, let's try move left. Okay. I got to move it up a certain distance. Let's move it up negative 10. It's still not far enough. Maybe move vertical another negative 5. Nope, that's too far. So move down, or vertical distance, let's say 3. It's still kind of cut off. You can see it's still a little cut off up there. Maybe I move it down another 2. And that looks like it's in the top left corner. So what are the coordinates of the upper left-hand corner? Well, the upper left-hand corner, if this were a square, the upper left-hand corner, um, okay, let's see, upper left-hand corner. Right-click, inspect, 0, 0. So the coordinates of the upper left-hand corner are 0, 0, which is weird because in math, you learn that 0, 0 is like the origin in the middle, and you can move up, down, left, and right. But in computer science, 0, 0 is the coordinates of the, or are the, is the coordinate, is the point that represents the coordinates of the upper left-hand corner. So anything that's positive will move to the right, anything that's positive vertically will move down, anything that's negative will move it to the left off of the canvas, and anything that's negative vertically will move it up off of the canvas, as you saw before when it was kind of cut off. Okay, create a new square object called quad 1. All right, close this and let us create quad 1, square object, new square, quad 1. There's quad 1 right there. Open its object inspector, make it visible, and change its color to blue. All right, we open up the object inspector. Let's make it visible. So make visible. Poof, there it appeared. And I will change its color to blue. And when I change it to blue, I don't forget the quotes. Okay, there we go, done. I'll move it to the lower right corner of the canvas so it is still completely visible, but there is no white in between it and the edge of the canvas. So I've got to get it down here. If I make this bigger, see that the canvas ends there. That's where the white is. So let's move this down. Let's see how far down we can move it. Let's see, move vertical. Let's try moving it vertically 100. Okay, that wasn't enough. Move vertical another 150. Okay, that was too far. So let's move vertical minus 50. Okay, that's not far enough. Let's move vertical another 10. Okay, let's move vertical another 5. Okay, still not far enough. Let's move vertical another 3. Okay, there's still a little bit of white in there, I think. Let's move vertical another 1. No, maybe that was too far. Let's move vertical negative 1. Okay, no, I think that was good before. Move vertical 1. Okay, so I haven't lost any of the square yet if I move vertical another 1. Nope, it's still good. If I move vertical another 1. Okay, there I lost a piece of it. So let's move vertical back negative 1. So that's there. Now we'll have to move it to the right. So let's move it to the right. Move horizontal. Yep. Now we'll move it horizontal, let's say 150. Okay. We'll move it horizontal another 30. Okay. Let's move it horizontal another 15. Okay, slow and steady. Move it horizontal another 9. Okay, let's move it horizontal another 2. Okay, let's move it horizontal another 2. Okay, let's move it horizontal another 1. Okay, let's move it horizontal another 1. Okay, that's good. Let's move it horizontal another 1. Okay, that was too far, so we'll move it back horizontal. And now the coordinate that we get from this square will be the top left corner. So if I look at the object inspector, the top left corner is at 270, 270, which is right here. So how do I figure out the bottom right corner? Well, we also know what the size of the square is. The square is a 30 by 30 square. So if the top right corner is at 270, 270, then the bottom right corner will be 30 more to the right, which is 300, and 30 more down, which is 300. So the coordinates of the lower right-hand corner are 300, 300. So now, let's see. Position the square in the center of the canvas, enlarge it so that only a small sliver of the canvas is showing on all sides. So if I want 5 to show on all sides, I know that the bottom right corner is 300, 300, and the top left corner is 0, 0. That means that overall the canvas is a 300 by 300 square. So if the canvas is a 300 by 300 square and I want 5 pixels on each side, then the coordinates for this, if I want 5 pixels on each side, I should make the coordinates of this be 5, 5. So let us change the coordinates of my square to be 5, 5. Now how can I do that? So let's say we can move it horizontal. It's currently at 270, and I want it to go to 5, so we'll move it to the left, 265. 265. And then we'll move it up 265. Move vertical, negative 265. There we go. And now I just have to change its size. Since I want 5 pixels on each side, and this is 300 across, 300 across minus the 5 pixels on the right and the 5 pixels on the left, is for a total of 10, would be 290. So I need the square to have sides of 290. So I will change the size of the square to 290, and voila! I now have 5 units pixels on each side of the square. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but there is that white that's going on over there. Okay? Once you complete it, write the values below. All right, I can use my object inspector in case I forget. The size is 290. The x position is 5. And the y position is 5. All right? And now we're going to instantiate a new triangle object called try1. So here we go. I'll bring this back up. So a new triangle called try1. Okay. And open the object inspector for each of the following shapes: circle 2, quad 1, and try 1. So, okay, whoops. So, I'm having some memory issues here, I think. Come back here, whoops. And where's my blue jay? Right there, okay. Sometimes when that happens, the only way to fix it is to open and close it real quick. So, new circle, circle 1. I had 2 circles. I had quad 1. And I had try 1. Okay. I don't understand why it's doing that. That is so strange. Well, in any event. There. That seems to have stopped by me resizing it. List all the object instance fields that all 3 objects have in common. So I need to open up the inspector of circle 2, of quad 1, and of try 1. So now let's see what they all have in common. So these are all of the instance fields. So let's see. This has a diameter, this has a size, this has a height and a width, so those aren't the same. They all have x position, y position. And notice that they're ints. They all have color, that's a string, and they all have a Boolean is visible. So they all have x position, y position, color, and is visible. So they all have x position, y position, color, and is visible. Now, the ones that are unique to each, well, let's see. Circle 2 has what that the other one did. Let's see here. Circle 2 has diameter. Quad 1 has, quad 1, the square has size, and try 1 has height and width. Height and width. All right, continue on to the next page. What method does a triangle object have that is slightly different than the other 2 objects? Now I got to look at the methods. So close this, close this, close this, and now let's look at the methods. So let's see here. I come here. This has change color, change size, make invisible, make visible, move down, move left, move right, move up, move horizontal, move vertical, and then these slow moves. So other than change color, change size, I have the visibles, move in 4 directions, move horizontal, vertical, and then move slow. For the quad, I have change color, change size, the make visibles, move down, left, right, up, the horizontal, vertical, and the slows. For the triangle, I have change color, change size, make invisible, make visible, move down, move horizontal, move left, right, move up, move vertical. So they all look the same. But a closer inspection, here the change size takes in an int that's called new diameter. Here the square takes in an int called new size. The names are different, but they're still just ints. So the methods are pretty much the same. I'm taking in an int data type. I just have different names for the parameters. But then the change size for the triangle takes in 2 int parameters. So the change size method is a little different. It's the change size method because it takes in 2 parameters for the triangle and only 1 parameter for the circle and the square. So now this, I'm not going to go through and do. This is a matter of kind of doing what I did before. Position the triangle so that its base is the entire bottom of the canvas and its top is on top of the canvas. So we can do that by moving it around and changing it, but here we go. Let's make this visible. The triangle will be the only thing visible right now. We know that the bottom of the canvas is 300 units long, so I can change the size so that it's 300 in height and 300 in width. And now I just need to change the position. So if I come here and I look at what the position is currently 50-15. So 50-15, I'm not really sure what that is when I look at this picture. So let's play with it a little bit. If I change the, if I move it, let's see, horizontal distance, let's move it 100 forward, and it moves like this slow move, whoop, right there. That looks almost like it's in the middle. I've got to move it up a little bit. So if I move it up a little bit, no, that was a little too far. So let's move it vertical distance down, let's say 3. Okay, we can do a little better than that. Move it vertical distance down 1 more. Maybe 1 more. There we go. And that looks like it's done. And if I look at the position is at 300, no, the position is at 150, 0. So the X position of 150 is halfway across, the Y is 0. So this obviously is giving me the position of the top vertex of the triangle. So I did that, and I could list all those methods. Position a 10 by 10 square at the origin and move it along the top of the canvas, so it moves along the right corner, and then moves to the lower right corner. So, okay, so I'm going to make the triangle invisible now. And now I'll make the square visible. And now I need it to be 10 by 10, so let's change its size, so it's like 10 by 10. It needs to start at the origin, so we can do that. We can move it, let's check where it is. It is at position 60-50, so I can move it 60 to the left and let's see, 50 up and 60 to the left. Okay, and now I want it to move slowly along the top of the canvas. So it moves along to the upper right corner and then moves down. So once again, we know that the entire width of the canvas is 300, and we know that the width of my square is 10. So in order for this to move from the top left to almost the edge here to get the square to appear like it moved, I have to move it 300 minus its length, so that's 290, and then I have to move it down 290. So to do that, I will move slow horizontal 290. There it goes. Whee! And then I will move it slow vertically 290. Whee! Sound effects optional. And then I can write down there what I just did, and you can just do that. You can go back in this video and rewatch and see. Okay, change the color of the circle to any possible color that I can think of. Well, we kind of did that already. So let's see if there are any that we missed. So let's right-click the circle class. I wrote pinkish colored box. These are more peaches than pink. And choose Open Editor. So right-click, Open Editor. And now here's all the code. And you notice, as we've been practicing, yeah, we've got this stuff up here, which you can ignore for now. We have public class circle. My instance fields, notice they're all private. A circle has a diameter, an X position, a Y position that are ints, a color that's a string, and then whether or not we can see it is a Boolean. Either we can or we can't. Then we have the constructor, public, no return type, same name as the class, circle. No parameters in here. This is what is known as the default constructor. So this just automatically gives it values. So anything that we create using this new circle, we'll create a circle with a diameter of 30, positioned at 2060. The color will be blue, and we won't be able to see it. So if I create a new circle, called circle 3, I still can't see it. And then once I make it visible, there it is. If I created another circle, well, I still have circle 2. If I make circle 2 visible, it looks like you can't see it. It's there. It's just on top of circle 3, because they all will appear in the same exact spot. So let us remove circle 3, and it will move circle 2. And you're like, wait a minute, they're still there. I can still see them. This is output. This is slightly different than objects. So these objects represent the circles. Whether I can see them or not is the output. So even though I got rid of the circles, their output is still there. Notice that I can't do anything more with them now because I got rid of the actual classes. What I could do if I really wanted to get rid of it, I could create a new circle, and then I could make it visible, and then I can just change its color to white. And it it erased it. And I can move it horizontally. I forget what I did. 30, I think I did. Nope. Well, let's move it back 30. Minus 30. See, it's still there. Now if I delete this circle, now you can't see the blue anymore. But anyway, that's not what we're in here for. Then we have the make visible method. The make visible method simply sets the is visible to true, and then it draws it, whatever draw does. Make invisible erases it, and then changes the is visible to false. Move right just calls the move horizontal method. Move left calls the move horizontal method with a negative 20. Move vertical moves it up 20. Is if we move up. Move down means to move vertical 20. Move horizontal, it erases the original triangle. And notice that we put in a distance for move horizontal. It takes the distance, adds it to the X position, and then draws it. Vertical works the same way. I'm not going to go through the slow horizontal and vertical. What we want to look at is we want to look at the change color method here. Change the color. Valid colors are red, which we knew, yellow, which we knew, blue, which we knew, green, which we knew. White also works, believe it or not. Black does, and magenta. Ooh, I never tried magenta. Let's get rid of this. Let's create a new circle. Move the circle 5. Let's make it visible. Okay, now let's change its color to magenta. Ooh, it's magenta. It's interesting, white works, but it doesn't say that white works. No other color, I believe, will work. Yep. The reason that it's not counting white as a color is because it's using white as the erase method. Basically, when it erases something, it changes the color of the circle to white, which basically makes it invisible, or you can't see it anymore. So if we just change the color to white, it's, oops, I need to put quotation marks. It will change it to white, but it's kind of the same thing as erasing it. So it's gone. So now if I move this circle, slow move horizontal 100, it didn't leave anything behind because I changed that color. And now if I delete it, well, I pretty much erased all the circles. So find the change color method. The comment above tells you what colors are possible. Write them here so you can do that. And I used the methods from the Shapes project to create a picture of a house and the sun similar to that shown below. So for this one, you can kind of guesstimate with the positions of these things. And then it's a matter of just creating them and then moving them properly. So I would need 2 squares, a triangle, and a circle. I'm going to leave that square down there. So I need 2 squares. Remove all this. So remove, remove, remove. So I need 2 squares, square 1 and square 2. I need a triangle, whoops, square 2. I need a triangle. I need a circle. I need to make them all visible. So make visible, make visible, make visible, and make visible. One of the squares needs to be black, so let's change the color to black. Okay. The red square needs to be about 3 times as big as the black square, I would say. So let's change the size. That's a triangle. And if you don't remember what the size is, we can check. The size of the square is 30, so let's make it 90. Change the size to 90. Okay. Let's move it down a little bit. So we'll move it vertical, maybe like 40 or so. So move vertical 40. Okay. The black square needs to move to the right a little bit and down a little bit. So we'll move the black square to the right. Okay, and then we'll move it down. And move it down. And move it down one more. Okay, that looks good. The triangle needs to be moved to the right a little bit. Move the triangle to the right. I want to center it above the house so it makes a good roof. That looks about good. Let's see. I need the height. I need the width to be bigger. So let's change the width. So let's see. The width is currently 40. And I need about 3 times that. So let's change the width to 120. And the height, I guess we could leave the height at 30. Okay, we can make the height a little bit bigger, I guess. So let's make the height 60, and let's make the width 120. Okay. We got to move it down a little bit. Move down. Okay. Move it to the left, but not. That's too much. So I'll move it horizontally. Let's say 10. Okay, we can do a little better than that. I can move it horizontally, maybe another 5. Okay. And now I just have to move the circle. So I also have to change the color of the circle. So the circle will change its color to yellow. We'll change its size to, let's say, 25. Whoops. Change its size to 25. Okay, still not big enough. Let's change its size to 40. Okay, there we go. We can make it even bigger. Change its size to 60. Okay, that's a good sign. And now we'll move it to the right, move it to the right, move it to the right. It's burning up my house. Move it to the right, 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 move it to the right. And each time I do this, I'm calling the method. And now I'll move it up into the sky. So move up, up, up. And that's very similar to the picture that I have. And we're done. So if you weren't able to do this because you don't have BlueJ at home or access to a computer, you can watch this video, follow along, and answer the questions that way. It is not the most efficient way of doing this because you kind of lose the interactivity, but it does kind of give you an idea of what's going on. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. And yeah, there's my little house, and there's my son, and we could have given it a door or something if we wanted to. But yeah, that's it. So thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye. Bye.